Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Wednesday morning and obviously happy game day as well. So I'm just getting things prepared over here because I might have some stuff to talk about. I hope you're okay. I hope you are all right. And I hope you're looking forward to a good day, whatever it is you're up to. But also, I hope you're looking forward to the North London derby at 8 o'clock tonight. So yeah, we'll be talking about that game. I want to talk about Marcus Rashford because I think it might be a very large and big day in the transfer, well, another potential transfer saga of Marcus Rashford. It doesn't matter if you want him or not. We are heavily linked, so we're going to talk about it regardless. All right. We do have a bit of an update surrounding Will Lancashire as well. So there's plenty to talk about and plenty to get into. Just want to say, if you're watching this, you need to subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And yeah, if you could drop a like, I'd be very much appreciated because it's good for the algorithm. It's good for people to come and join us and chat Spurs. Morning the D's. Grant, XL, Sonia, I don't know football / Harper, Dragon, Jake, Donna, Bazza, Marshall, in a coma. God, we're busy this morning already. How are we all? Look, we've got obviously morning Steve as well, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Oh, that's all right for you then, isn't it? I'm going straight to bed after the game, but it's all right for you. Look, we're going to come to the game in just a second. We'll give you my last minute thoughts about it. Obviously, we do have a little bit more team news that's come out of really the press conferences, more so from ange. I think there's not really too much from the Arsenal side of things. I think from what I talked about last time, I think their injury situation hasn't really changed. Ours has somewhat changed, good and bad. So we'll come to it in just a second. But let's talk Marcus Rashford. So a quick little backstory before I jump into a couple of little bits of information that I think are effective for us in this saga. Obviously, we know that AC Milan have been quite keen on Marcus Rashford. He's been linked to other clubs in Europe, but, AC Milan's been the main one. He's been linked to Saudi as well, and he's not going to be going to Saudi. He understands what that would do to his brand, and his brand is, built around charitable work, being a good person, X, Y, and Z. So there's that. Now, there was a situation that AC Milan were moving off of Okafor, which he was going to go to Leipzig, and that would have allowed more money when it comes to these deals. Now, they are very heavily linked to Kyle Walker. So there's so many factors to go into this, by the way. That's hence why I'm trying to get through it all so we can jump into the updates. But they're also looking at Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker wasn't in the squad for Man City yesterday against Brentford, basically signaling he's leaving and we don't want to play him in case he gets injured. And if he gets injured, he can't move on. And AC Milan are very keen on Kyle Walker, who, by the way, I think he'd be pretty damn good in the Serie A. But obviously, look, that is a key thing. The other key thing surrounding the Kyle Walker situation is AC Milan can supposedly only bring in one non-EU player, basically Brexit rules, right? And if that's the case, and they are a lot they're a lot further on the Kyle Walker deal, which I believe they are, that would put the pressure on the Marcus Rashford situation as to where does that leave him. If AC Milan does go off the table, Saudi might be the only big move outside of the Premier League, or the only relevant or credible move, you might say. Now, he's been linked to West Ham, with obviously Graham Potter now becoming the West Ham manager. What does that happen for them? Obviously, Spurs are still linked. Now, let's jump in with some updates because first and foremost, Noah Okafor's deal with Leipzig has failed. He's not passed the medical and will return to AC Milan. Now, that's quite a large situation. Now, it doesn't mean that's the be-all and end-all of any AC Milan moves when it comes to players, but it obviously would put more pressure on the fact that, hey, they've not got as much money now to spend. They were obviously banking on this deal going through so they could cash in a few quid, use that money when it comes to new moves. Obviously, Serie A is not flushed with money. Obviously, by the way, if you're not aware, Colomwani has been green-lighted. He is joining Juventus. They're paying for his full wage for the next 6 months with no option or obligation to buy. Okay, go for it, mate. Go for it. Morning, Chris. How are you? Steambunk, how are we? I'm good. Thank you for asking as well. Do you think we can go for Eze or is it out? No, we won't be going for Eze. Maybe in the summer, but not right now. So look, that's the situation on AC Milan side of things. But Di Marzio have said that today is a decisive day for Marcus Rashford's future. Now, look, what that leads to, we're not too sure. What that means, We're not too sure. But I tell you what, is anyone else starting to think Colomwani's not happening? We haven't really been linked to anyone else massively when it comes to attackers, and we want a versatile attacker. I'm not saying I'm putting 2 plus 2 equals 4, but I'm saying it 2 plus 2 could equal 4 in this regard. I think Spurs are in here. I think look, Manchester United won't want to wouldn't want to sort of help Spurs, right? They wouldn't want to. But Man United also do not want Marcus Rashford. Now, what does that look like for us? Why would we want Marcus Rashford? You know, people are saying we don't want to be a place where we have to rebuild careers and things like that, whilst we're not exactly doing very well in the league. And I am probably on board with that sentiment. And people go, yeah, but I don't like his attitude, and Ange is always big on attitude and things like that. And again, good point. I think with that though, Ange always has a conversation with the player. You know, Ange has said a few times, we have rejected deals that are really close to being completed because he's not keen on the player's attitude. He's not keen on his character. If we were to sign a Rashford, it means Rashford has cleared the character test, which if it has, then it has. But if it's a decisive day, is this the move they're going for? Honestly, I'm so nervous about it because look, if you know me and you know where I am with this situation, I don't want him. I don't. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm more putting it out into the atmosphere that we've been linked to Marcus Rashford by so many different sources. AC Milan, Okafor, deal falling through due to a medical issue. Them looking at Kyle Walker, who I think is an easier deal. It's probably a cheaper deal. Obviously, wait, no, it's not probably a cheaper deal. It is a cheaper deal. He's probably on less money per week. He's also not going to cost very much to actually just bring him in. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Let me do a poll because I want to get your idea. If I can spell Rashford right, there we go. Rashford, yes or no? Vote in the poll to let me know what you're thinking. Personally, I think we are going for Rashford. I have a feeling can't shake it. We have already too many players that are inconsistent and fail to put in a performance. Do we really need another? With Rashford, his mindset may change by moving to a new club, but it's a big gamble. Marcus Rashford to Spurs is feeling ominous. Look, do you know what? We've been a little bit too negative around this deal. Let's try and be a bit more positive, right? Let's be a bit more positive. Marcus Rashford obviously had that one incredible season where he played nearly 60 games. I think he probably played a little bit too much football in that season, where I think the following season he started to suffer a little bit because he probably was a little bit tired. But let's say that one season that he had where he stayed very fit, he was motivated, he was banging in the goals, he was getting assists. If you were to get 75% of that player, 70, I'm not asking I want 30 or goal contribution a season for him, but let's say you got 75% of that. Is that crazy? You know, let's say you got 20 goal contributions from him in a season. So you're actually taking away, 33%. I'm even dropping lower than 25%. I'm dropping 33%. If you were to get 20 goal contributions from him a season, would that be the play? Now I've got a question mark over this deal because also he's going to be playing. He plays in a position where our captain plays. Sonny plays on the left side. So could he play for the right hand side for us? He's never really done it for Man United. He's always been on the left hand side. So that's the other thing that it's confusing to me. The fit doesn't make a ton of sense in that regard. Now, could he play right wing? Yes, he could. We all know he can. If you're a winger, you can play both wings. You know, you are better on one normally than the other, but you could, you know. And people say, he's Prem proven. I totally get he's Prem proven. And Colomwani wasn't Prem proven. And I get that idea. And I'm not even going to argue that because that is a spot on fact. I can't argue it. But this deal is only feasibly possible in two different ways. One, Manchester United have to pay some of the wages. Spurs aren't paying 325 grand a week to Marcus Rashford. They didn't even do that to Harry Kane, who's the best striker in the world. And also, Daniel Levy does need to recognise you dropping the wage bill so far and looking at where we pay wages in the league, you shouldn't be surprised that we aren't doing as well in the league. If you're going to pay mid amounts, expect to be mid amount in the table. Right? Simple as that. Let's see on that side of things. But yeah, they would have to fund at least, I would say, if it's 325 grand a week, they need to fund at least 125 grand a week. They would have to do at least that. I think they would have to do about half of that. So Spurs would pay like 160 grand a week, right? Which Spurs can do. There are multiple players at the club that are earning in and around that amount, give or take, right? And there's also, is there a chance where it's just a 6-month loan? There's no option, there's no obligation. It could be that. Let's see some of your comments. I've missed a few. I think it makes massive sense as far as Levy knows Rashford has a massive brand. He can make loads of money off of that. Now I think he only does it if United cover some weight. Well, look, that's the other key thing. He may bring a media circus with him, but he also brings a humongous brand. I mean, I don't know how many followers he has on social media. I don't really care, but having those followers, that's what owners look at sometimes. The fact that he's homegrown and an English player, that's marketable. It is. It's absolutely massively marketable. And I think, a lot of English teams love that sort of thing because they'd be able to market players better and in turn make even more revenue, that even though they are on decent wages, they make even more out of them. I mean, Marcus Rashford's on 325 grand a week, right? So over the space of a month, it's 1.3 million. Okay. 325 times by 2, 650 times that by 2, 1.3. In case you were wondering how the maths works. I don't care over the year. It's irrelevant. He probably, through shirt sales, sponsorships, social media posts, all that stuff, probably make that on him a month easily. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And that's why Man United haven't wanted to got rid of him for ages. But I think because Jim Ratcliffe is so tight and he's so desperate to save money at Man United, he's looking at this guy going, 325 grand a week. And Amram doesn't want him. Move him. Get him gone then. I can see us getting Rashford. For me, it's a bad idea, but it could work out. Too much of a risk. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Gons. Why haven't we signed a centre-back, left-back yet? Well, we're still in the market for that. Let's not get hell-bent out of shape about, we haven't signed this, we haven't signed that. We're halfway through a window. January takes time. January. If you think summer transfers take amount of time, January transfers take even longer. It's just not a month. It's when people go to me, I think we'll sign 5 players in this window. I was always like, you live in a fantasy land that I'd love to live in because it's just not happening. There's no evidence that it would happen as well. I said 2 players. I thought the keeper would get in the summer. Now the keeper's been brought forward. I said, okay, 2 players then. We signed 3. And 3 in January is a lot, by the way. That's a lot. Maybe if we get him and he feels like he has support around, he'll pick up and do better. Well, yeah, do you know what? Maybe a fresh scenery might do him some good. Point that no one's done great at United for years, true. But I'm really unsure. Levitt's spending big on anyone, so forget this window. It's all high. With Kinski, play him up front. Do you think there is a backup sign if we don't? Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I would say so. Why is Tottenham not getting any defenders? We're going for defenders, don't worry. Levy be thinking our players are all coming back over the next few weeks, and that's what the issue. Well, yeah, he'll be going, but Ange, you've got Davies that's back in training. Richie's back and Mikey's back, and look, Van der Ven's back in a couple of weeks. So's Romero, and you're gonna have all these defenders, and just ignore Dusty Doggy. It doesn't exist. Look at Spence. You know what? That's exactly what he's thinking. Exactly. And that's when someone has to kind of go, Johan Lang and Ange have to go, love that you think that, and I love your positivity. Because you have to, because whenever you speak to a boss, right? I don't know about your line of work or anything like that. You have an idea and you think this is a great idea. You have to make your boss think it's their idea. So you brought it to them. They can then take it as theirs and go, here's an idea. And you go, whoa, what an idea. Well done. Even though it's your idea, they're a complete moron. You do it to make them feel better. So with this, Johan Lang and Andrew would have to go, right, we have to come up with an idea how to spin this into it's his idea, right? And you kind of go, fair enough, mate. Love that positivity. You're right. We do actually have players coming back. Ben Scholes back in a couple of weeks. So's Romero and Mickey and Vic's sort of back in training, but he's a little while away due to the ankle. But he'll be back by this time next month, sorry. Odebear's back next month. Mikey and Richie and Ben are basically all back. But you also kind of go, the only thing is, Daniel, we do pick up quite a few injuries all in one go. And that's why we're really struggling here. So I'm thinking is if we get like one or two, nothing mental, just one or two, I think that'll really help us. I mean, look how good Kinski's been so far. And he goes, oh, yeah, no, Kinski has been good. And he was a good, cheap deal, wasn't he? Ange goes, oh, great business, Daniel. Daniel, that was brilliant. And he goes, that was brilliant. I did well there. I was in Prague doing that deal. And you go, you're a stud. And he goes, I am. And you go, and he goes, well, maybe we will get one or two more. And you go, maybe, yeah, that's a great idea, Daniel. And you go, boom, we're through. You've broken through the psychology of it all. You've made him feel better about himself. He goes, yeah, do you know what? I might, I'll get Enix to spend a little bit more money. Yeah, we maybe get someone else in. And you make him do that. That's how you do it. That's how I've always done it when I've wanted something at work. You gas that person up. You make him feel really good about themselves. And he just sort of, just under the table, slide a little comment. Just nothing mental. Look, I think we might need. And then you slightly gas them up a bit more. And then they go, yeah, do you know what I think we do need? And you go, gotcha. That's how you have to do it. And hopefully, Ange or Lang have both gone, we need to just twist him. It's like one of those toys in the back. Twist him in the back and prod and just let the toy move. That's what you have to do, I don't know what you guys think about that. It's a horrible analogy, I know. Rashford comes across a sort of player that needs an arm around the shoulder. He'd get defended by Ange. Ange would handle the defense of him much better than Ten Hag ever would. It does seem that any heavy links that get leaked never materialise. It's not the Spurs way. And that's a good shout, Graham. Lang is cooking. Imagine the ball went on 2-week vacation. You'll see me on the beach going, oi, you, Daniel, get your phone out. Get some business done. Where's Paratici? He's here somewhere. There he is, Fabio. And you see me running across the beach chasing after Fabio Paratici, going, you get your phone out. Get your headphones out. Do some work. Hey, Big D, how are you, mate? I still expect 2 more signs in the window. Ange's workhorse, not a guy. Best thing for Ange is to leave the UK. Well, Rashford to leave the UK, sorry. Rashford is a serious sign. This is not Ange's pet project at his psychological school. Does Levy really support Spurs? Oh, that's a good question. It's a good question. Am I doing a watch along? I won't be, no. I won't lie to you. I might not be very old. I'm 28. I might not be very old. I'm very much ready for bed as soon as like 8 p.m. hits. So I'll be watching it near enough falling asleep. Will I do a review afterwards? Maybe. We'll see how we go. Who's better than Rashford available? Me. I do feel that Spurs are truly interested that Rashford would choose them. I think he wants to leave the UK. I think he wants to play in Europe somewhere else. I think he'd love an AC Milan move. But, it takes two to tango, as they say. Levy Sports' investment, Spurs may as well be in mining stocks. Andy, they have a plan for the window. The question is, will the plan succeed? Well, you'd have to say so far, no. This is what I should do. This is the player I want. Go and get him instead of pissing about with one player. Look, that every team, even though they might be linked heavily, and this is the number one guy they want, always have 2 or 3 deals going on in the background in case things don't go their way. Spurs are no different. So I know some of you may think that, but Spurs are definitely no different. All right. Only Ange can serve a season. Fair enough, Tarzan. Not Morata, no. Rashford wants to avoid the English media. Complete singles. How are you, my friends? You made it live. Let's talk Arsenal. Come on. Let's talk about Asna. All right. Now, I have seen Sky Sports News and Sky Sports writers saying, this derby for Arsenal has come at the wrong time. Look how injury depleted they are. Oh, they've got so many injuries. I mean, you and I sat there, you watching this. Yeah, you don't look at no, don't look away. You. That's right. I'm talking to you and me. Definitely me. We obviously talked about the injury situation for both teams. And I said, well, you're missing Ben White, you're missing Saka. That's their right-hand side. That's their starting right-hand side as well. That's a big loss, both of those, right? And they went through the rest of their team. And I was like, well, it's backup left back. I was like, hang on. There's a backup midfielder. The backup striker's just ruptured his ACL. And I was like, well, these are the backups. So you still look at the starting 11. The starting 11 is still very strong. I was like, Rice is still there. Erdegaard's still there. Saliba's still there. Gabriel's still there. Raya's still there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these players are all still there. And I was like, now we obviously haven't made a big deal about our injuries because, you know, we're not absolute simpletons at times. But you would sit there and go, well, Vicario's injured, Romero's injured, Van der Ven's injured, Desi Doggy's injured, Bentancur's injured. That's our spine. That's our keeper, 3 of the back 4, and our number 6 that are all out. Sorry? So you're missing 2. 2 starters, right? 2. I might give you 3 if I feel nice. You're missing 3 starters. Spurs are missing that in just the defence alone. And then add in the keeper and the number 6. So I'm like, I don't want to hear injury excuses from them. They don't deserve to have injury excuses. If they deserve injury excuses, we deserve to get this game postponed to a time that suits us. All right? It's boring. It's absolutely boring. All right? Does Jermaine first to wear his boots? He does. I'll get on the blower to him. How's Bale? Bale could probably still play a game. Oh, Bale would get injured. No, Bale would get injured. No, let's not do that. Let's leave him to enjoy his time. Odegaard's been a bit iffy for a couple of games. Yeah, again, but we've not got very fit players. I mean, Dragić's not fit. I mean, Poro's played more minutes than anyone else in our squad, probably. Don't hold me to it. Son's not been 100% all year. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if Solanke's not 100% fit. It wouldn't surprise me if he's not 100% fit. The amount he gets kicked, you know, they try and get it postponed with the sniffles. Yeah, one case. Oh, got to get postponed. Oh, boring, isn't it? But look, regardless of that, this game is obviously a very interesting game. I mean, looking at the Premier League table, obviously there was some football yesterday, by the way. If you missed out, City played, Liverpool played, Forest played. Forest, by the way, drawing with Liverpool at home. Fair play. I mean, Forest right now are 2nd in the league. Ahead of 6th, because 6th in theory would be the first league position that's not Champions League football on paper, because 5th this season might get it. They're 6 points ahead of City, who are in 6th. Interesting. Spurs are 13th. There we go. Obviously, not great at the moment. A win only takes us up 1 position into 12th. So not great. But looking at it, I mean, I've always said a good month, right, of football where, let's say, Spurs win 4 of 5. The league table looks drastically different. And that's where we should be. I really don't have this attitude of let's just punt on the season. I'm not interested in that. Not interested in punting the season. You never should do that. Ange won't do that. We shouldn't do that. Obviously, yes, the cup competitions are very interesting. You know, you still got the FA Cup. You got the League Cup, and I'm going to call it the League Cup from now on. That's the EFL Cup, but this is the League Cup. All right, that's what it is. And obviously, you still got the Europa League. So you still got plenty of cup competitions still to play for, but not interested in the idea of punting on the season. You know what I mean? Even a Vito, how are you? The match is going to be 3 a.m. here in Jakarta. Oh, I'll tell you what, get to bed a bit early and then wake up for it, maybe. That's the way I'd go about it. I like literally wake up at 3. So it gets much sleep as possible. Doubt it, Adiz. Can we go Dembele? Oh, yeah, player, mate, player. What English players outside the UK are in the English squad beside Kane, Bellingham? Well, I wouldn't look at it now because Tuchel's come in. Let's just wait and see what his first squad looks like. Just because Southgate never, unless it was Henderson, he would never look at players outside of the UK. So we'll see what Tuchel does. Forest could do it in Leicester, you know. Yeah, I don't see it. Liverpool are too good. Kudus, Poro, Solanke, now Prob Gray, and Draghi, who Prob haven't fully recovered from ill, all probably running empty, yeah. 86 people watching and 20 likes, people. Hit the likes around it. Appreciate that. Appreciate the Harper, mate. As well as Rec, absolute legends for people telling people to like it. Absolute bloody legends. Do you think there's an advantage with their manager having played in North London derbies? No. We should be realistically aiming for 6 or higher and a couple of finals. Interesting. Look, more importantly, though, this is an interesting game. Okay, look, a little bit of team news for Spurs. Richie is on the bench for today. He will, well, unless he gets bloody injured somehow, he gets to the cafeteria and he gets injured, but he will be in the squad for today. Timo Werner has pulled a hamstring. He's out injured. We don't know how long he'll be. We haven't really seen, but Timo will not be featuring in the squad today. So you would have to say then Mikey Moore will be the guy that comes off the bench if we take off Son. Obviously, Everton at the weekend on Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Don't hold me to that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone can let me know in the comments. That'd be great. Obviously, this game obviously is massive. It's just, it is massive. And it's massive, I think, for really not just 3 points. And actually, it's nothing to do with Arsenal. It's just for us. The rest of our season, because it's a lot of like, we'll win a few, stop, start. We could probably do with, let's use this as a launch pad. We've beaten Liverpool. That's a big win. That was Liverpool's pretty much strongest team they put out there against us. We beat them with our backups, with a few, obviously, starters. But you know what I mean? You beat Tamworth, didn't look good. But you still got through into the next round. Not every team can say that. Arsenal, 3 in a row. We haven't won in the Premier League in a little while. Win this, you never know what happens. Momentum is a crazy thing, and it can always fester and lead to something massive. You got to think as well, 8 days' time, we played the Europa League seventh game of 8 against Hoffenheim. You then play in 2 weeks' time, just over 2 weeks' time, Elfsborg. So you know what I mean? The momentum can not just sort of affect this one game. The momentum can affect other competitions. You got Liverpool in 3 weeks' time for the second round of the League Cup. Sorry, the second leg of the League Cup. Just saying, if you have something festering in a good way, it can lead to serious momentum. If you have festering something in a bad way, it leads to something even worse. How can Timo get injured against part-time footballers? Tomorrow's Richie will get injured as he will be wound up wanting to get on the pitch. Mate, whatever you think of Richie, and a lot of us are thinking, mate, you need to go because you're never fit. The one thing you can put your money on is Richie's up for today. And I love his attitude. I love his attitude that he's up for the big games. Everton at the weekend, he'll be up for that big game. If we can get him 15 minutes tonight, go, mate, we're going to get you 15 minutes. Go out there. Get yourself about 15 minutes. Everton at the weekend, we're going to get you some more minutes. We're going to try and get Solanke some rest here and there. But we need you. And that's what, if I'm Ange, I'm literally going to him like, we need you. Right? Because you're a player and a half. And you are going to be needed for this run-in. Hype him up. Sonny's a pretty good record against Arsenal. He does. Yang's finished regular season career, so Ange's going to be perfect. Yeah, true. Despite we didn't get Curlo, but the people blaming the people like Lang and Levy seem to forget it's a loan and the player has a final say. He goes, absolutely. I'm in Egypt negotiating with Omar Mamouche. Well, he's in Germany, so you're in the wrong country. Sometimes I think some injuries are smoke screens. I don't think Timo is that injured. We'll see. Thing is with Son, he's playing too much. If Odegaard wasn't injured and Werner wasn't shy, we could have arrested him. Well, look, Odegaard will be back soon. Mikey's obviously now back, so you might be able to start saying to Son, get you 60, 70 minutes. Because if you were saying to Son, you play twice a week, 60 minutes a game, that's nothing crazy. But we've got no one else to give him that bloody rest. Like next week, Hoffenheim. I'm looking at Son going, you're on the bench. I don't want to see you come on if we don't need you. Hey, Sing, course, mate, how are you? I'll stick with Richie. He wants to be at the club and is what we need. And Richie respond to being needed. Fit Richie's better than Moani, Rashford and Garnacho. Scenes. If Richie stays fit, I'm more than happy with him. Yeah, I'm happy with Richie if he stays fit. The key thing, though, is if he stays fit. That's my only issue with him. But yeah, that obviously he is back. Now, looking at the rest of the team, Davies is a maybe for tonight. Maybe. Ange sort of said, look, he's been in training. We'll see how he goes. He has a chance to make the squad for tonight, which I don't think he's going to start. But if he's on the bench, then you have an opportunity to bring on a defender that you sit there and go, if he plays centre back, I don't feel terrible about him being there. Whereas, like, we love Spence. I like Spence at fullback. Also, it means we don't have to put Reguilon on the pitch as much, which is good. I see, by the way, I'm seeing people going, we should start Reguilon tonight. And I'm like, that we've fallen off, haven't we? We have sunk to such a level to say that, and that we're happy with that. Richie would score the winner in the semi. Oh, we will be there. Richie starter against Hoff. Yeah, I think at the moment it'll be about getting Richie some minutes here and there. Hoffenheim next week, I think he gets 60 minutes there. So there's a little bit of team news on Werner, Richie, Davies. Obviously, we won't have Bentancur back for this game. Odegaard's still out. I don't think we'll be seeing Mickey or Romero. Obviously, we could be surprised, but we don't see any either of them. Vic is still out. Destiny's still out. We obviously played 120 minutes at the weekend, but so did Arsenal. So there might be some changes between the two teams, but I would expect to see Maddison start. Tonight is a Maddison kind of game that we need someone that's going to be able to get on the ball and be able to dictate a little bit of tempo. Because as much as we all love Kulu centrally, Kulu cannot dictate a game. He loses the ball a little bit too much as well. You know, just the flicks and tricks and things like that, and they don't pull off. And lo and behold, they're just pushing onto your back four, right? This is a game where you go to Maddison, you know, you dictate play. You get on the ball, do your thing. I think Maddison has a good little link up as well with Spence and Sonny as well, with Kulu being more out on the right-hand side of things. Those, because Destiny was great in this as well. Destiny and Son and Maddison had a brilliant trio when Kulu was a little bit further around to the right. And Kulu's got a great link-up play with Porro and Sarr. Now, the midfield's the only interesting part for me, because like I said to you, I think the front three will be Sonny, Solanke, and Kulu. Your back four will be Spence, Gray, Dragajin, and Porro, which Dragajin's needed tonight because Arsenal are corners. They are corners, guys, aren't they? Bunga says Dragajin is a monster in the air. He is going to need to dominate that. Solanke at the front post has made a huge difference. Like when Kane used to be at the front post and we were much better at defending corners, Solanke's been much better at defending that front post. He's been massive for us. Obviously, Arsenal do a lot of theirs towards the back post. So we're going to need to be aware at the back post. You know what I mean? But the midfield is the interesting thing for me. Or, you know, will Basuma be ready to go? Obviously, we played Sunday afternoon. So you think Monday, Tuesday, and today. He's had 3 days rest. He played 120 minutes. Is Biss ready to go? Because if Biss is ready to go, I'm having him start. This was the game last year. Watching, actually, this was the third or fourth game last season, wasn't it? Something like that. But it was like the second game where I was like, yeah, I think Biss is pretty good. You know, it's been annoying since that after that first 10 games of what's happened, but he was extremely, extremely good at the Emirates last year. We're going to need another sort of performance like that. Maddison, another performance like that from him, you know, a couple of assists in that game. Sonny's going to need to be Heung-Min Son. Now, Sonny didn't play a ton of football at the weekend, so I think he should be somewhat fresh. Same as Solanke. Kulu, the same. They should be somewhat fresh, those guys. Obviously, defensively, we're going to be pretty shattered. All right. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles in this sort of thing. But this is third game for Kinski. So I've just had this Rashford poll up for 20 odd minutes. Sorry about that. Let me get rid of that. Will Davies be on the bench? If he's able to be on the bench, I think he will be. I don't think Davies won't be starting, in my opinion. If he does, they might even move into centre half. Richie, stay fit, please. Let's get some backup Solanke. Let's bring some points back from the library. No, I think Moore's going to be ahead of Yang in regards to if someone's coming off the bench for Sonny, it'll be Mikey. I might need my boots tonight. All I'm going to say is if anyone wants a tactical yellow, a little shirt pull, a little rugby tackle, a little let me pick you up. I'm going to run that other way with you, so you can't go that way. Send me on. Where's that Erdegaard? Where is he? There he is. Right. He might be shifty. I'm going to grab him. I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to run into the away end. I'm going to say, sit there. Don't move. All right, I'll pick up my yellow. What a shame. Richardson's, yeah, honestly, give him the pigeon. Kinski on corners, he will be massive. That's a key thing, Dean. Thanks for that shout there. Kinski on corners, I think it's going to be massive tonight. I think he's looked very solid under the high ball so far. We're going to need more of that. I think the ability to play out from the back, I think they're going to need that again. He's looked really good with the ball at his feet. We're going to need even more of that tonight. We're going to need it to be near enough perfect. The key player for me tonight is Kulu. Now, I could sit there and say Maddison. I could sit there and say, a Basuma. The reason why I say Kulu is they've obviously got a young boy at fullback. Miles, is it Miles Sketty? Which is it? Hang on, let me get his name. I want to get it right. I hate being rude to people and getting their name wrong. Right, here we go. It is Lewis Skelly. Sorry, apologies, Lewis Skelly. He's their young fullback. Kulu needs to be all over this, and he needs to absolutely make that right hand side, just an open gateway for us, because he needs to be going, I'm our best player at the moment. I'm the guy that's in great form. I scored at the weekend, which lovely to see him score. This fullback here. Right. He's a young kiddie. He's 17, 18, something like that. First North London derby. I need to come out here and I need to dominate this matchup. Because if you dominate that matchup, it means, right, Arsenal need to shift their team further to that side. And then before you know it, that left-hand side then becomes open a lot more. Or Porro gets a bit more of an opportunity to whip great balls in. And recently, his crossing has been very good. Not great against Tamworth, but before that's been very good. So that's my key battle. Yeah, Josh Keeley saving a penalty last night. Leighton Orient through into the next round of the FA Cup. Donnelly scores a penalty as well in the penalty shootout. They get Man City at home. So fair play to him. Love that wreck. I think the front line of Arsenal can be shut down. Saliba and Gabriel are the problem on corners. True. Dragic just needs to dominate. Or stand up. And, just Dragic for me, I'm just like, mate, you are 6'4", 6'5". You can leap and jump better than most players. You've got brilliant ability in the air. You've not shown it to everyone yet. Go out there. This is the game. If you want to show it, do it, because defending corners, he's been actually really solid. And Kinski obviously has been looking good under the high ball. But if he goes out there and just dominate, do your thing, lo and behold, is all I'll say. We should finish our chances. I feel like they will have Rice keeping and protected, making it so their midfield will be easier to go through. Well, look, if they open up that midfield a bit more, then Maddison is going to have a worldie of a day, because Arsenal, you would think, aren't going to completely sit back in this game. There's going to be times where they will and dig in and defend. There's going to be times where they're going to come at us. That's when you go, Maddison spins around the corner, one touch with Sonny, and then we're onto their back four. That's where we've had great successes. Those two, when they are linking up better, we look miles better. If we win tonight, do you think Ange will get a bit more leverage with new players coming in? Maybe so, mate. Thing is, if Kinski does like he did against Tamworth, fighting players who were allowed to be a hell of a lot more aggressive than they are in the Prem, so I feel Kinski won't get bullied. How many sub do I want by the end of the year? Don't know, mate. What am I on now? Was it 3.4? Oh, why not 4,000? Why not 4,000? They haven't got much. They haven't got white tonight. The dark arts master at corners, playing with gloves. Hope your goal is 5K. I think 4K is a reasonable amount. But if we were to get 5K, how awesome would that be? How awesome would it be if this was an actual job, full time? That'd be pretty damn cool as well. Rashford is an upgrade to Richarlison and Werner. Well, true. Well, Richie maybe not. I feel like something controversial will happen tonight, because it always seems to in North London derby. I see Lucas starting over Maddison. Maddison needs to start this game. Bergvall maybe at the 8, but Maddison's needed today. You know, this game last year, the 2-2 draw in Madison was incredible. And that was, I think, the first game where he started to get a bit injured. So we need him. But we shall see. Spurs need to play like they did at City and hit him on the break. We shall see. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me this morning. Very much appreciate it. Look, if we get any chance of news today, I will go live. Sorry, I thought there is chances, but nothing to do with Spurs. Hashtag let's get Andy to 5K. Rate it. Yes, if we do get anything, I'll go live. If not, I may be live tonight after the game if I'm not too sleepy. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. Definitely do my live. But we will be back tomorrow to speak a lot more about Spurs, regardless. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your days. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care. Peace.